Thank you very much to our Chief Marketing Officer, Brittany Miller, specializes in scaling business infrastructure. I wanted to say, everyone get excited. This is another Fortune 500 Friday, and we're excited to have a special guest, Mr. Sidney, okay, Hucklebridge. But before we get started, I want to just share with everyone what's going on today on this Fortune 500 Friday. The word of today is capital, and I'll go into more of that as well. And the acronym that we're using for today and for this week is CPM. I'll get into that a little bit here shortly. But most importantly, I want to let you know that these calls are to be instructional, educational, and pretty much entrepreneurial to our network. So we're glad that you all joined, tuning in. I want to let you know a little bit about what is economic development and why we're having these meetings and why our network is so valuable. Because economic development is the creation of wealth from within the community, and they have community benefits which are realized. It is more than just creating jobs. It's an investment in growing the economy and enhancing the prosperity and quality of life for all of our residents. That's why economic development is so important. And that's why we're having these calls, because your network is your net worth. And we want to increase our environmental justice. People ask me all the time, Roosevelt, why does economic development matter to business? Why does business and economics, go hand in hand? And I share with them, economic developers are catalysts. They are politically astute. They have strategies that establish relationships. It's all about building networks and, most importantly, generating resources to meet the business's needs. We have to meet the needs of our business. We have to meet the moment. So our goal here at Young Black in the Business is to create economic viability in every community. So today we have our guest speaker here, Sidney. He's going to speak a little bit about acquiring bids. How can we enhance our environmental wealth, and how can we connect? Because it's all about connectivity. Here at Young Black in the Business, we start on time and we're always going to end on time. So with no further more, at 7 o'clock, we're going to go right into it. So like I said, the word of the day is capital. I'll dive into that. And our strategy for this week is CPM, and I'll go into that as well. So with no further more, we're going to go silent for a couple of seconds. Use the link above to join our live link, or you could text to come in. Members get to ask questions, because Young Black in Business is a member-based network, and you can find more about that at joinybnb.com. And we're going to get off to the races here shortly. Thank you again for joining us on this Fortune 500 Friday. It's now for you to get excited and get connected, because on Saturday, December 14th, join us and stand with us at our 2019 holiday soiree. We're going to have food. We're going to have family. We're going to have the Grinch. We're going to have Black Santa. So stand with us and join us and see our vendors. Let's put a black gift under every green tree right here in San Diego. Get excited, join us, and become a vendor today.
I think that was a good point to stop at. That's a nice group shot.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And that was a blast from the past. So this lets you know, I want to welcome everybody to Fortune 500 Friday here with Young Black in the Business. We are excited to have you. Today is Friday, May 27th. Okay, so get excited. This bi-weekly Fortune 500 call is intended to provide instructional, educational, entrepreneurial content. The word for today is capital. Capital, okay? Not like a capital letter, but capital meaning often refers to money, but it's also used to refer to everything in your business, but everything that you own, such as equipment, vehicles, buildings, and land. How are we capitalizing today on this Fortune 500 Friday? The energy that you put out in the world is energy, the capital energy that's going to come back. So the acronym for the day, CPM. What is CPM? A critical path method. You have to have a critical path method when you're planning. This CPM means the critical path method is a technique that allows you to identify tasks that are necessary to complete the project. The critical path in a project management is the longest sequence of activities that must be finished on time to complete the entire project. You have to have a plan of action. think with the end in mind. Get you a CPM, a critical path method that'll definitely help you organize. So with no further more, I'd like to pass the ball to our Chief Marketing Officer, Brittany Miller. She specializes in business infrastructure, helping businesses scale. She's a great team leader here, executive board member of Young Black in the Business. Brittany Miller.
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. Again, my name is Brittany Antoinette Miller. I am the Chief Marketing Officer for Young Black in Business. My word or concept of the day is know your customer. And this is internal and external. I think sometimes as business owners, we don't look at our vendors, contractors, suppliers, and even our employees as internal customers and ask ourselves, how are we serving them? Because they are just as important as your external customers, which are your buyers and your consumers. In between both sets of these customers, you want to identify what are their goals, what are their desires, what do they want specifically from you? Not necessarily from the market, not necessarily from the industry, but when they come through your doors or they come to your website, what is it that they're expecting from you? Is it good service? Is it a good product? Do they want to come somewhere where everybody knows their name and they're happy that they came? So these things are important to identify so that, when you are setting up your customer service strategy, you actually can make sure that you are hitting those goals and those targets so that you are successfully serving your client, which is ultimately going to optimize your revenue. And this is internal and external. If you are successfully serving your internal client, which again could be your vendors, contractors, suppliers, and employees, they're going to work harder for you, which means you're going to pay them the exact same rate, but you're going to get a much higher output, which again is going to look like more profit for you. If you're successfully serving your external customers, buyers, consumers, they're going to buy more and they're going to be okay if you have to raise prices because they value what you offer. So successfully serving and identifying your customers' needs at the end is always going to be good for business. So again, my word of the day is know your customer. Roosevelt?
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Brittany Miller. That's wonderful. Know your customer. So our next speaker is Daniel Horton. He's our Chief Financial Officer. So he'll be sharing with us where we are right now, kicking our tires and checking our hood. Mr. Daniel Horton. Mr. Horton.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Yes, sir.
So today I'm going to briefly review some business things for the year. Hopefully on April 15th, all the corporations who are filed as such filed their corporate tax returns on April 15th. That was just last month. And for all the LLCs and other businesses, on June 15th, the quarterly taxes are due to the federal government, to the IRS. And so what this is after you start your business, throughout the year, you're expected to pay just a small portion of what your yearly tax amount would be. And so if you have certain financial programs like QuickBooks, they'll send out reminders for these things. But generally, you can expect in April, the first one to be due, in June, the second one to be due in September, as well as November or December. So those are some of the tips and tricks for your tax filings for all of you businesses out there. And secondly, Young Black in Business is going to be expanding into business advising services. And so what this would include is you'll be meeting with me privately to review your company to help you achieve whatever goals you have in mind, such as what was previously mentioned by the Chief Marketing Officer, Brittany, what your customers are looking for. And so I could evaluate your company to make sure that you are in line with best achieving that goal. And some of those services would include things such as business succession planning, valuation services, benchmarking and financial metrics, acquisition and transaction support, organizational development, business strategy and planning, operational reviews, and effectiveness in your planning. And so just reach out to ybnb@gmail.com and let us know if you would like to partake in those services, and I could meet with you shortly and help you figure out how your business is doing and how to further expand it. That is all I have for this morning.
Okay, Mr. Horton, I want to thank you very much. You've been definitely a valuable resource here at Young Black and in Business, and I want to be able to share those services and resources. Our company would like to share those resources with our network. So membership has its benefits, and Daniel Horton is one of those benefits. You'll be able to have that one-on-one to, dive in, like I said, kick the tires and check the hood of your business, make sure you're on the right track. Mr. Horton is our chief financial officer, and he is also a lawyer as well in his field and in his capacity. So moving right along, what is our next event? Let's share with everybody our next event. We're having a construction expo Wednesday, July 13th at 9 a.m. at Kearney High School. Join us in person. We're going to be in person for San Diego's favorite procurement event for construction contractors, architects, engineers, and any related vendors, suppliers, and manufacturers. You'll be able to find more details on that at joinybnb.com. We have today's guest speaker is Sidney Hucklebridge Key. When I say he's a distinguished gentleman, I really believe that. He has a bailiwick of experience from the San Diego Unified School District. He's part of the leaseback outreach coordinator. His experience also includes chief operating officer, labor compliance program manager, labor compliance analyst, labor compliance consultant. So with no further more, we have a presentation today from Sidney Huckleberry Key. He's a San Diego Unified School District leaseback outreach coordinator. Sidney.
Hey, Roosevelt. Good morning, everyone. Roosevelt, if you could just allow me to share my video as well. It appears that it's not letting me do that. It says host won't let me share my video.
Okay. We'll give you access to that right now.
Thanks.
Okay, just let me know when you're allowed to share.
Yep, looks good. Thanks.
Wonderful, wonderful.
So once again, good morning, Young Black and in Business. It's always great to be a part of this organization's events and webinars. Like Roosevelt said, my name is Sidney Hucklebridge Key, and I am the leaseback outreach coordinator for San Diego Unified School District's Facilities Planning and Construction Department. That's the department that designs, builds, and modernizes the district's campuses. My role is an outreach coordinator. And as an outreach coordinator, my focus is to meet the business outreach engagement missions that the district has. To reach out to local, small, and diverse construction and construction-related businesses, to educate them on the opportunities with the district, to engage them in the school district's bond program, ultimately promoting growth in our local economy and healthy competition on our district procurements. So I know everyone's time is really precious, and it is 7:10 a.m. on a Friday. So being aware of that, being cognizant of that, I'd like to just get down to the heart of what I'd like to talk about this morning. Today, I want to talk about small and diverse business enterprise goals and certifications. I will start by talking about the program we have at San Diego Unified School District, the goals in place, the opportunities that these bring, and finish by sharing free resources available to anyone considering government contracting before taking any questions. So San Diego Unified School District has a lot of opportunities. We're the second largest school district in California. We buy a lot of education supplies, specialized technologies, food, services, products, materials, and so much more. But today I am going to be focusing on our construction program, as that's where we have small and diverse business enterprise goals. The school district's bond program is an $8.4 billion program stretching over 10 years. Since the inception of Measure YY, the latest voter-approved bond, we have over 27 active or completed school modernization projects, ranging from $6 million to $120 million in value. Young Black in Business has seen the Claremont Canyons campus and the Crawford High School campuses during your photo shoots. Both of those are receiving enormous makeovers and upgrades. And there are plenty more projects in design and more still that haven't even been bid to contractors. The district's board recognized many years ago that having small and diverse business enterprise goals on our bond program was essential. With billions of dollars of expenditure, reinvestment in the communities, in the local businesses owned by former students, owned by parents of students, employing local workers, was almost as important to the lived experience of our students as the projects themselves. So we have them. Now, here's a caveat. I'm about to use quite a lot of acronyms. They're sometimes called the alphabet soup because of how many certifications exist and how, if you're quick firing them like this in a webinar, they all tend to blend together. But please be patient. And if you need help, I'll give you the resources later on that will be able to talk you through this alphabet soup. So our current small and diverse business enterprise goals are as follows. We have a DVBE, Disabled Veteran Business Enterprise goal of 5%, a WBE, a Women-Owned Business Enterprise goal of 7%, an MBE, a Minority Business Enterprise goal of 8%, an SBE, a Small Business Enterprise goal of 40%, and an overall program-wide goal of small and diverse business utilization of 50%. So let's break that down to dollars. Let's say we have an $100 million project. Of that, we want to see 5 million to disabled veterans, 7 million to women-owned businesses, 8 million to minority-owned businesses, 40 million to small business enterprises, and at least 50 million of that $100 million project going to those different categories. So these are great, but they're just goals, right? And we hear about goals all the time. So where are the tangible, real results? Well, our district and our team is getting there. Since 2009, our program has used 5.57% DVBE, 8.83% MBE, 8.21% WBE, and 36.72% SBE. That's over a third of all of our construction dollars going to small businesses, and that's over 8% going to minority businesses and women-owned businesses separately. So let's put some dollar values on that. The leaseback program alone, which has been running now for 4 years and has spent $1.2 billion and has about 26 or 27 active or completed projects. Of that, about $60 million have gone to disabled veteran business enterprises. 96 million has gone to minority businesses. 143 million have gone to women-owned businesses. And $395 million have gone to small businesses. So overall, goals can work. And we're not the only public agency that has goals. So prepare yourself for more alphabet soup. There are DBE goals, which include minority and women business owners at Caltrans, MTS, which is Metro Transit System, NCTD, North County Transit District, SANDAG, San Diego Association of Governments, and the San Diego Airport. San Diego Housing Commission has numerous diversity goals, including MBE, SBE, DVBE, and also Section 3, to name a few. Section 3 certification is based on the business's zip code, among other variables. UC San Diego recognizes Hub Zone. The City of San Diego recognizes Small Local Business Enterprise. The airport also recognizes Local Business Enterprise, LBE. Some private companies even have internal goals for utilization of small women-owned, minority-owned procurement. So goals really matter and certifications really matter. So how can you benefit from this? We'll get certified. One of our key community partners who we send all emerging businesses to is the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center. Go to your SBDC and receive your unlimited free business consulting. That's right, it's unlimited free business consulting. It's not just certifications. They'll help you with your business plan. They'll help you with the lot. Also, though, they will help you certify. They will be able to recognize which certifications you are eligible for out of the ones that exist and that may be relevant to your business practices almost immediately. And they help businesses submit for these all the time. It takes them an hour, what might take you a week scouring the internet. Small Business Development Center, SBDC, SBDC, SBDC. So walking through the door won't mean that you have a business. Your concepts, your chosen problem to solve is up to you. It's on your shoulders. But once you have that idea, or once you have the business already set up, which some of you may, and you have the belief, take advantage of them. SBDC are a fantastic organization. They also help you connect to professionals you may need, help you respond to a request for proposal. They're really the magic sauce supporting America's small businesses. I'll send Roosevelt some links, and Roosevelt can send those out to all of the attendees that are on today for SBDC, for our program, and a couple more as well. So finally, let's say you have the certifications, and if you are in the construction sector, or even a business that's a construction related business, material suppliers, construction site cleaning operations, utility locating, on-off haul trucking. Trucking is used a lot by our construction companies. Connect with my team, connect with me, and also connect with our prime contractors that win our work. They really want to hear from you if you're qualified. Now, one note, being certified never guarantees anyone work. Competitive, successful businesses win work. But with the goals in place, know that you can compete with incumbent firms. The goals are there to balance the disparities. And we have plenty of firms who have grown inside the school district's bond program. If anyone here who's listening wants to hear more about a career in construction, an industry with exceptional stability, growth prospects, and potential income, then I recommend going to the San Diego Workforce Partnership for free assistance with your career choice. You can also go to the building trades and seek assistance from them. Union apprenticeships last 3 to 5 years. Wages are good from the get-go. And what's really important is journeyman, which is fully qualified, skilled laborers, bricklayers, plumbers, carpenters, electricians, can become licensed and start their own business with just 4 years of journeyman experience behind them. And that's a great way to start that generational wealth that the members of Young Black in Business want. That's me done. Is there any questions of anyone that is on the line now? Well, if I'm waiting for people to type them in or say them aloud, I'll just mention something that might tie nicely into Brittany, what she said earlier about knowing your client, knowing your customer. So today I'm coming here from the San Diego Unified School District. We buy a lot, but we don't buy everything. So let's say someone that's listening to this has a clothing boutique. Would you come to the San Diego Unified School District to do outreach? You might, but we're probably not going to want a boutique in a high school. And we're probably also not going to want clothing from a boutique store. We're not going to procure it. So knowing your client is really important too. However, the airport, they have concession stands and they want to make their concession stands reflect the local city, the local community. So maybe going to the airport and pitching that you have a boutique in the airport would be the way to go. Likewise, the Department for General Services, which is California statewide, they buy almost everything. So if there's something that the district doesn't buy or the city doesn't buy or the water authority isn't seeking your services, check out DGS. But overall, going to Small Business Development Center and also doing research on your own will help you narrow in who your clients are, because you can't force a sale with someone that won't buy what you're trying to sell. Any questions still?
Okay, Sidney, that's a whole word. You can't force a sale with someone who's not willing to buy. Yes. I think one thing I kind of wanted to touch back on is the competitive side of the bids. And this is because, like, with this past year of being involved and even attending a Women in Construction luncheon, you know, one of the things that I'm noticing is that it can be very difficult, you know, hence the alphabet soup. And B, a lot of these businesses are honestly family owned. So when you have the opportunity to literally have someone walk you through how to break in, it makes a huge difference. You know, so I think on our end with Young Black and in Business, we're attempting to be the familial side to help you get through the competitive process. So do you think that you could kind of touch on that a little bit more? Like what is that competitive process about?
Sure. Yeah, it's a great question. It's also a huge question. But being a member of networking organizations like Young Black in Business is obviously a great start. You're in a community looking to support you and learn together, because it is complicated. But also connecting with those free resources that exist. SBDC is not just about government contracting. They have multiple offices all over San Diego, and the Small Business Administration, SBA, supports similar organizations across America. The best thing to do is to locate the SBDC that's right for you. For example, there's offices, they have an office in East County, and that one specializes in manufacturing, cybersecurity, general business development. But if you're a new business start, you might want to go to the South San Diego office or the North County office. They specialize in new business starts, debt finance, marketing strategies, and also government contracting. But you can all do this from the comfort of your home now that Zoom and Teams is so normal. Go to their website, and they will help you with starting the business, and the alphabet soup will be one part of that, the certifications. It's kind of like what Roosevelt was saying about CPM, critical path method. The certifications would be one point of a path to be ready to take on government contracts or private contracts that have these goals. Certifications are not necessary for a business. The certifications I'm talking about today, small diverse certifications, but if there are goals from an agency or a private entity, being certified is going to help you. But in terms of being competitive, go to SBDC, seek their assistance. They'll help you with the business plan. They'll help you if you're looking for capital, and they'll put you into, they'll direct you to the professionals that can help. They'll also help. They've got seminars on improving your credit, and they have partnerships with bonding agents. If you are in the construction industry and you're looking to take projects, bonding is an enormous part of that, and it's an enormous hurdle for new businesses, because you need someone to trust you to bond your project. Basically, it's not quite, but it's insure it. And so, you know, insurance is for new businesses can be expensive or unattainable. So all of this will be helped with Young Black in Business, other organizations like it, just networking organizations coming together as a community, but going to SBDC, taking that first step and having a chat with one of their fantastic business advisors.
And I do have another quick question, especially since Daniel's here this morning. So one thing that Karen had brought up, and I'm not sure if you know too much about it, but she said that a lot of times mediation is a part of the construction process. Do you know, can you elaborate on that a little bit? Or do you know anything about that?
I will not try and elaborate on that. No. Yeah, we'll have to get Karen on one of these, and she can talk about that too. But in terms of, well, a lawyer is always helpful, especially if you're in construction. It's incredibly helpful. If you're working with a government agency, there's a lot of pros and cons. One of the pros is that, especially more recently, government agencies in San Diego, especially ours, are really focused on making sure that our contractors are paid within an agreed upon set time. And then we also want to ensure that in the contract documents that their subcontractors get paid in X amount of time. But there's an issue with the construction industry is that you can do the work in January. You could submit your invoice at the beginning of February. The general contractor might receive the funds beginning of March, and you might not get paid until April. And that could be a best case scenario. So there's a lot of capital needed. Now, worst case scenario, let's say you're in the private industry, the private sector, or even the public sector, and the prime is not paying you for whatever reason. Let's say that they believe that your paperwork's not in line, even though you think you are perfectly compliant. It is always nice to have someone on your side who knows the ins and outs of the law. They might be able to make sure that you get paid immediately rather than in 6 months' time. So, you know, having a lawyer and owning a business is, it goes hand in hand. I think you always want professionals, you want experts around you. For example, most new starts, I would advise against doing your own taxes, for example, because if you get that wrong, the IRS is an enemy that you don't want to make. So, you know, that's your taxes. You've also got, accounting, you've got legal. You don't need all this at the beginning, but if you want to run a successful business that grows, then yeah, mediation is going to be a part of construction for sure.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's a great segue to give Daniel Horton a big kudos and to just acknowledge the services that we have in Young Black in Business by having those legal services, legal advice, and that supporting cast. You have to have a supporting cast. That's a part of the critical path method. You know, when you're ascertaining capital, you know, resources, land, equipment. And so just to share with you again, please follow and like Sidney Hucklebridge Key on LinkedIn. You know, and he's been an asset to us as well as we think with the end in mind, looking to have more bids for our network, bid opportunities. And again, the Construction Expo, Wednesday, July 13th at 9 a.m. I'm sure Sidney will be in attendance as well. Say hello, come shake his hand, let him know what you learned today. This content will be living on our website and on our social media. So before we conclude, Sidney, is there any final thoughts, any comments, instructional, educational, entrepreneurial content you can close us out with?
I think the biggest thing to take away today is if you can get certified, get certified. And if you need help, go to the SBDC. Those would be the two takeaways. Make use of that free resource, the SBDC. They're fantastic.
Outstanding. You definitely inspired us. We're actually coming around the corner with another cert that we have Mr. Horton working on here, and we'll be making that announcement at our next Friday Fortune 500 call, June 10th. We're going to have Christina Buckler on the call, speaking about real estate, how to acquire real estate, and how to invest. Just in conclusion, some of the benefits that why Young Black in Business has when you become an individual level subscriber or a small business partner, you get opportunities for our Black and Gold Gala. You don't want to miss that. Sidney was there last year. I'm sure you had a grand old party. You get to be seen and heard in our manuscript and on our podcast, Knowledge to Currency. You don't want to miss that. We're on all those audio platforms from Spotify. It's K2 Currency. You know, go check that out today. We're going on our 9th episode. Members of our network join us for that. You get to be in our professional listing on our Young Black in Business online directory, be seen and be heard. You also get to represent on one of these calls like Sidney is doing now. So we want to hear about your business, see how we can support each other's businesses. The reason why we started Young Black in Business, individually we were a thread, but we come together, now we're a rope, and now we're pulling all our resources together, leaning on each other. So these calls are to be clear, complete, and concise. We start on time and we're going to end on time. Right now it's 7:29. Again, Sidney, want to thank you for joining us. Very informative this morning. Mr. Horton, thank you very much for the financial update. And Ms. Miller, it's always a privilege to work with you this morning as our Chief Marketing Officer. So I want everybody to go out and seize the day. The word of the day is capital. Okay, go ascertain some capital. And while you're doing that, get a critical path method. Think with the end in mind, and you can have it. Well, thank everybody for joining us. We'll see you June 10th at 7 a.m. Thank you.